Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Like, I think it wants me to,
Pull up that bottom thing, the bottom slidey.
but it's not.
It's not?
Uh-uh. But it's coming in correctly in the end. I'm already live though. Hi. I'm still trying to work out a whole lot of. I don't want it that way. I want it this way. Thank you very much. Rotate device back. Nope, we're doing it this way. Have you seen when it was? Hi. Trying to get something going with Papua New Guinea tonight. I'm gonna experiment and try a little bit of different stuff. So it's really, really bright. And it's also falling. We'll see. So this part of being in New Guinea is round 2. I went from the little Madang village at the coast to the mountains for this every other year festival that I had heard about, and it happened to be going on the weekend that I was there. So the family flew me over to the mountains where they had an aunt. This is the kind of place that most everybody stayed, but I was staying with the people that live there. So I was the first white person to stay in their village. They were really honored to have me there. I was also really pleased to be there. They didn't have very much money at all. This is the place that I stayed. They were incredibly gracious. They had, there was only one outhouse in the village, and it had a lock on it. But it was one of the ladies I stayed with, her aunt owned the outhouse. So they had asked her, can the white girl use the outhouse? So the aunt said yes. So every time I needed a pee or anything, I would tell one of the boys that was there that I needed to go use the restroom. He would go run, get the key, and come back and meet me and walk me to where the outhouse was. Towards the very end when I was there, I knew how to get there and get back. So he said, can you get back? I said, yeah. And so he went in to use the outhouse because he'd never been in. It was like the aunt was the only one that had ever used this outhouse. So I was very special. I got to use the outhouse. Everybody else just used the river that was right there. And they had no electricity. The lady was so kind. We went to this little market and she bought some candles. They were 10 cents, which was an extreme expense for her. She worked at a little Catholic school in the village, so she knew a little bit about the outside world, and she said she knew I was used to electricity and she didn't want me to have to be in the dark. So she bought me a couple of candles, and I asked if I could buy them, and she said, no, 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 you're my guest. So she bought a candle for me, and all of the people moved out of there were 2 bedrooms in this one little open area, and they gave me one of the bedrooms. I said, some of the people can stay here with me. I don't need a bed all by myself. And they're like, no, no. So there was about 10 of them that stayed there, and they all slept in one bedroom while I was there, and I stayed in the other one. So we ate there. They fixed some really good food. We had sweet potatoes that we dug a hole in and put hot stone rocks over it and buried them for 3 days and then ate them. But this festival was amazing because I was with the people that live in the village. We got inside. Everybody else had to kind of be from the outside. I remember a Japanese television crew coming up to me and saying, how did you get back there? Can you get us back there? I'm like, nope. You have to stay with the people if you want to be part of this. So there was 2 trucks in the village. One of them was a pickup truck, and we all piled in that pickup truck and drove over there. I remember one of the ladies saying that I was talking about the place in Los Angeles and said they have 12 lanes of cars. And she said, why? And I said, because there are that many cars. And she couldn't fathom that because they just had 2 in their village. Ooh, these slides are really blown out. If anybody has any suggestions on how I can get the slides to look better, I'm totally open for that. One of them might have the ladies. This is one. So this is this huge amount of necklaces that this lady has on. This is for the festival, but one of the other things that they do is when a loved one, a spouse dies, they wear 365 necklaces. Every day, the first year, they remove 1 necklace. So by the time it's over, the year has gone by, you have this physical likeness as well as your heart has had the chance to heal also, which I thought was really pretty cool. And there were just amazing outfits and costumes, and they do this every other year. I'm not sure they actually do this anymore. I feel like I mentioned something to another traveler and they said that they actually don't even do this festival anymore. But all the different groups and tribes came to this one area in their traditional outfits. Papua New Guinea has more distinct, specific individual languages than any other country. So all these people that lived there were very isolated for a very long time. And they did have cannibalism for quite a bit of time. They had a lot of headhunters, but that was not going on when I was there. And what was I thinking about earlier? Something about all the different villages. I don't remember. This lady has, let's see, maybe it's the next slide. One of them, she has dead parrots on her as part of her costume. So they have all these feathers are native feathers from all the birds. It's a tropical rainforest there, so plus mountains. So there's a huge variety of animals, and they have permits to be able to use the birds and their feathers because it's part of their traditional costumes. And I have a lot of pictures of all the costumes, but this is just going to be a short version of them today. And there's her birds. She has all the parrots. I don't know if you can see any of that. They were incredibly generous, very giving. You know, again, I was supposed to be killed. I was supposed to be like attacked or murdered, and instead everybody was just so open and gracious and accepting of me. A lot of the ladies are in their own troops, and then the men are in their groups. Some of them are mixed together, but a lot of them were in separate groups. There's a lot of music, a lot of dancing. It lasted 2 days, I believe. Some of the fur that's on the costumes, it's from a couscous, I believe is how you say it. It's a little animal that they have there. I know later in another set of slides, I have a picture of them. They made a purse out of that they gave me. It was intertwined with leaf yarn and then the animal fur, and it's incredibly strong. Some of them you can see, they call them bilums, is the bags that they have that they carry on the top of their heads. When we went to that market where the lady bought the candles, there were all the ladies, mostly are the ones that do a lot of all the work. Huh, imagine that. And they have these bags. You put it on the top of your forehead, and it goes down your back. And the ladies would come just laden to bear with the gifts and the things that they had made. Some of them made different kinds of breads. Some of them just brought in fruit that's from the mountains, and they would bring it down to the area where the market was, and they would carry 15 or 30 pounds on their head, plus babies. They would bring everything down one day, lay it out, and have the market, try and sell their wares and carry what was left back and come back the next day. Just every day, that's the life that they lived. So this was a real fun celebration for everybody to just let loose and go. That one is a little sideways. They had those drums, they're kundalini drums. They're made from a tree, one single tree, and then it's carved out. And it has an animal hide on the end of it. Okay, that might be the last one. Just them hanging out in the woods. In the shade. So, nope, it's not the last one. I really love these black feathers. They were blowing in the wind. It was gorgeous. With his little Pepsi bottle. It's everywhere. Look at that. See, I started this Mardi Gras parade in Richmond, and I love Mardi Gras anyway, but this whole attire over there was just amazing to me. Headdresses bigger than they were. Right. Getting to the end, a lot of leaves, a lot of dye. It's almost all of it was material that traditionally is what they made and what they used, and it's from the areas where they are. So a lot of them, the only time those different tribes would ever see each other was during this event, because they were so isolated with the inhabitable, I guess not the right word because they were there, but the very challenging terrain of all the mountains and the trees and how hard it is to move around there. There was a fire later. I have a couple of slides of that, but that'll be another day. I don't think I got those in there. Look at them blowing in the wind. All right. And you can see some of the mountains in the background. Just chilling. Is that it? All right, that's it for tonight. Ciao. Never works easily to go away.